Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be going over my top 5 favorite bicycle rider back decks. And starting at number 5, we have the Bicycle 807 rider back playing cards. Now this one isn't opened, but these are completely the same as the Bicycle 808 standard rider backs, except they are higher quality control and have the old tuck case. The reason I like these better is because they have this on the back. I think the old tuck case looks much nicer. I think it feels a little bit nicer, and I like higher quality control on my cards. The big advantage to having the old tuck case is that you can hide a card on the back very easily. And obviously you might want to take off the seal because it kind of reveals it, but generally no one notices if I leave that on the table or if I'm waving it around. No one seems to care because most people associate the back of the tuck case with the back of the cards. These come with standard jokers. These are on standard retail stock, made in Erlanger, Kentucky, and they've got regular ad cards. So a very standard deck, but a very good deck. It is actually cheaper than the 808s, and at best you can get 12 decks for $15, or at least from my best source of these, 12 decks, $15, half red, half blue. Now, next up on the list, we have the Bicycle Blue Seals. Now, that's not the official name of the deck. These are just bicycle rider backs that were printed in Cincinnati, Ohio, instead of Erlanger, Kentucky. So you can see that on the Ace of Spades, it says Ohio. And the differences between this tuck and the 807s are the seal. The coloring is a lot more vibrant. The copy on the sides is different. See, it says the United States Playing Card Company, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45212. I actually think that looks a little bit nicer because the font is better, and I like the clutter a little bit. Says the same thing here. And on the back, it's got a more vibrant barcode, a more easy to read barcode for phones and stuff, I've found. And it says Bicycle Poker 808. Now, the reason I like these better than the 807s is because, well, the first easy one is I like the ad cards better. They can come with a lot of different ad cards, but all the ones I've gotten have either been poker guides or poker rules, which is a much better ad card to have. Now, I know there's a lot of tricks that use poker guides. Maybe not a lot, but it's not uncommon for a trick to use poker guides. For example, Jason Ladani's Best for Last uses a poker guide, and that's really nice to have. The rules of poker are nice to have, so you know how to play poker. And the other reason I like these better is because they handle much better. I didn't mention this in the ad cards, but it does come with a guarantee joker and a black joker, which are my favorite jokers in any bicycle deck by far. But they handle a lot better. The quality control on these is higher than it is on these, it seems like, and these were made on the old machines, so you can't get these anymore for super cheap, but these were made on the old machines, and I think they handle just much better than the older cards. Than the newer cards. They are thicker, and I think they're just generally higher quality. I also like the blue seal better, but who really cares? I kind of like the black seal better on some decks, the blue seal better on others. All right, coming in at number 3, we have the Penguin Magic Bicycle Elite Editions. Now, the only difference between this tuck case and that one is it says Elite Edition. It's a little more vibrant. It's got the P3 Penguin Magic ad copy on the back. It says penguinmagic.com. It says Thin Crushed and Poker here. Just got to orient that so you can see it, and it's got no seal. Now, I'm actually not a fan of no sealed decks because I'd always rather have a seal because it's pretty easy to take a seal off, and if you know your stuff, it's pretty easy to get the residue gone. But with no seal decks, you don't have the option to have a seal at all, and I actually prefer the way seals look, and if I'm not doing a trick where I need to hide a card in the back there, who really cares if you have a seal? But moving past that, these are Thin Crushed. They are traditionally cut. They come with a double backer and a blank card and 2 red jokers. Now, I'm not a fan of the red jokers as opposed to the black ones, but I'd say most people are. So it's always nice to have identical jokers, whether they be the black ones or the red ones. Double backers and blank cards, I'd say, are the most useful gaff cards a deck can come with. It's pretty easy to hide a double backer. It's pretty easy to hide a blank card. And they are really good for a lot of different tricks. Now, elephant in the room, these are printed on Thin Crushed stock. I am a big fan of Thin Crushed stock when it's done right, and I think this deck does it really well. This deck handles like a dream. I like thinner stocks more than I like thicker stocks, because thinner stocks tend to be higher quality. This is a Q1 deck, so it is the top quality control, and it is on thin crushed retail stock, which is probably my favorite stock for playing cards of all time. And this deck really handles so well. I don't know if you can hear that sound when I dribble them, but that is a really good sound. It makes a great noise, and it is a great deck. You can find these for about $5 a deck, so one of our cheaper decks on this list. I gotta be honest, I didn't really consider price as a factor when making this list, just whatever I had, me personally. So I wouldn't say a deck that I don't have on this list, but I would say a deck that's more expensive, like the Blue Seals. The Blue Seals are probably, the cheapest I've been able to find them for is $3 a deck, but most of the time they run about 15. And the red ones are actually rarer, but you know me, I like blue cards better, so that's good for me. Now coming in at number 2, we have the Richard Turner Gold Standard Bicycle playing cards. Now, obviously the big word to these is that they are traditionally cut. Now, my particular set was actually made in Cincinnati, Ohio, and every deck of Richard Turner Gold Standards says Cincinnati, Ohio on it, but he actually paid extra for them to be able to say that without them actually being made in Cincinnati, Ohio. So you can see on the ad copy on the bottom, it doesn't say where it's made, because it says on the side. If it did, it would be in Erlanger, Kentucky for most decks. This one was made in Ohio. I have a couple that were made in Kentucky. Honestly, they feel almost the same. They both feel great. This deck is really the perfect thickness. It is the perfect in-between. And if you don't know who Richard Turner is, he is a blind card cheat, considered to be one of the best in the world, and his really only way of judging a deck of cards is how it feels. So if he says these are the best, they probably are, for most people. It comes with 2 cards. It comes with a letter Ace of Spades, or a novelty Ace of Spades, some people call this, with a letter from Di Vernon to Richard Turner on the back. If you want to read that, I'd pause the video here. It also comes with a blank card. Now, I am actually one of the proponents of blank cards over double backers. I think blank cards are more useful than double backers. And I won't go into why right here. I could make a whole video about it, but I'm happy this includes a blank card. The identical jokers are, I like identical jokers much better when they are the black jokers. Some people like red ones, but that's a big difference for me with the deck. You know, I use the jokers a lot in my tricks, so that's really nice to have. As for the rest of the deck, the Ace of Spades is standard. It says made in Cincinnati, Ohio, and this is on B stock. B stock, traditionally cut. The cut of this deck is excellent, I'll say that. This is probably one of the best cut decks I've ever felt in my life. Now, if you don't know much about cuts are traditional and modern, and they can be good cuts or they can be bad cuts. This is a very good cut. All right, so I just prepared a Pharaoh to do a giant fan, and that deck, well, it does it like a dream, as you can see. But this deck would Pharaoh for a card cheating routine perfectly, and I've actually found that for precision Pharaohs, where you want not a perfect Pharaoh shuffle all the way through, certain cards to remain together, for a certain setup with, for example, belly strippers, you'd use a lot of precision Pharaohs and advanced routines. For precision Pharaohs, this is the best deck I've ever felt. Really, by far the best deck I've ever felt for a precision Pharaoh. Second, I suppose, would be the blue Bulldog Squeezers. I don't know about the red ones. I actually don't own red ones of the same print I own blue ones in, but the 2020 print of the Bulldog Squeezers has an amazing cut for precision Pharaohs and whatnot. Now, coming in at number 1 on my list, which might be a little bit of a controversial choice. There's been a lot of buzz around this deck. You might be able to guess what it is. It is this red one here. This is the blue sealed first edition framed by Butterfly X Bicycle Rider Back playing cards. Now, the controversy surrounding these is that these were only released limit 2 per customer in a run of 300 decks, all right? So the only way you're going to get this blue seal, this beautiful framed by Butterfly seal, meaning the frame of the cards was done by Butterfly, the only way you're going to get that seal is by ordering one of them secondhand now. These, of course, went out of stock very, very quickly, and that is a shame because this is probably it is my favorite bicycle rider back deck of all time, but it is probably within my top 3 decks of all time, period. And the markings on these are really beautiful. But before we go into that, it comes with a QR code showing the markings, a double backer, which is fine. Honestly, I think I'd rather have a double backer with this deck because it's got the different back design. And it comes with 2 black jokers, which you know I love. Now let's get into the markings real quick. I bet you can see the markings here, but if you can't, there you go. So these are marked for direction, suit, and value. And the direction markings are really good. They're super easy. The suit and value markings are actually really great. So if I can remember how to do this, this should be a... I know it is a queen. That's all I know. I don't remember how to do suits, but it is very easy. Last time I looked at it, the suits were super easy. And actually, I should probably... I don't know if I should bore that QR code. We'll see what I do in post, but I don't know if that's a public QR code. In any case, these decks are being released right now on Kickstarter for about $12 a deck. I think it's 12 euros. I don't know what that is in dollars. It is probably around $13. So around $13 a deck on Kickstarter. These are being re-released. It's almost the exact same deck, except instead of saying first edition on the bottom, it says second edition, and they are the Black Seals. Black Seals. The word didn't come to me for a second there. They're the Black Seals. And this is really an amazing deck. It is on Thin Crush stock. It is traditionally cut. It has identical jokers. It comes with good ad cards. It's marked. The marking system is very good. It's got really everything you could need. All right, now wrapping up here, there is a couple decks I would like to give an honorable mention to. Now, those 2 decks are the Bicycle Signature Edition, which I will pull out here. These are the Bicycle Signature Editions, and the Thin Crushed Experts Web Pressed Bicycle playing cards, which I have a deck of right here, alright? Now, the only reasons that the Signature Editions did not make the list is because they only come in black. Now, admittedly, the black is nice. They come with good jokers. I don't have them here, but the ad cards are a blank card and a double backer. So, a really good deck. It handles really great. It's traditionally cut. The tuck case is nice. It's embossed, and it is the old tuck case, so you can hide a card on it pretty easily. The only reason this deck doesn't make the list is because you can't buy it in any other colors than black. Now, briefly, this deck, I'd say, is just almost exactly the same as the Elite Editions. This deck's going to feel more similar to every other deck. The reason this deck didn't make the cut for me is because I don't like the seal, and I don't like the way the ad copy looks. I don't like framed ad copy. My favorite ad copy out of these is this one, on the blue seals. I'm not a fan of framed ad copy, and I'm not a fan of this seal. And I was saying it's going to be one of these 2, and I just picked this one because I think it handles better, and I think it looks better. And I believe that is it for the video. There is other decks of Bicycle Rider backs out there, of course, that I won't go over in this video just because I don't use them as much as these. The only other honorable mention I might give a spot to is the just a belly stripper deck. Any belly stripper deck of Bicycle Rider backs is going to be really good. I can pull one out here. Here's a belly stripper deck of Bicycle Rider backs. The thing is, they are much more expensive, though, and I tend to, 99% of the time, perform with a regular deck of cards. So I end up using these a lot more than I end up using any trick deck whatsoever. Anyways, that's all. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you like it, if you like what you see, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I don't do videos very often, but I'd say when I do, they are pretty high quality. They've got pretty good information, and I pride myself on the information I give and the sources that they are from. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next time.